Fixed it. Oops. Better now. Okay. Okey-dokey. What's up? Welcome back. I think that I made some sort of correction. Doesn't appear to be getting lag anymore, but the quality seems to have dropped a little bit. I don't know. Gotta find that right balance between quality and not overloading the output on the computer. Oops. So what are you up to tonight, Thanos? Anything fun and exciting? Doing some arena. It's always fun stuff. Oh yeah, definitely. I hate it, you know. Arena grinding without suicides is brutal. It takes so much longer to just get through fights. I would prefer to run full suicides, but I like that Mystic Dispersion too much. I use my Mystic Champs a lot for AQ and Alliance War. That was nice. Watch it on mute, then you can't enjoy my beautiful, lovely voice. Welcome, Beardo. Yeah. She might not realize that I'm back, or she maybe is eating. I'm not really sure. It's like 7:30 her time, so. This is a pain in my butt. I'm not sure. He doesn't ever come in my streams. Too good for us. Oh, that's not the right mouse. It's weird that is this the only path on this that does like a weird portal thing? I haven't done all the paths, so looks like it's the only one. How come one of these paths is a portal and the rest don't? That's weird to me. Why? I mean, it seems so unnecessary too. Like, why make this do that? Why not just like why not just make it go or like connect the where the 5 and the 6 are here together and then like just go around that way instead and then portal out? That's, I don't get it. Seems weird to me. What's the point? I said that you were Beardo. Either that or he just knows that Gamer of Oz is Beardo. You should have a picture of Aegon as your profile pic. Recognized by his Twitter handle. Oh, speaking of which, I need to like get my Twitter and yeah, I definitely need to do some work on updating my stream a little bit. One of these days, maybe tomorrow night, instead of streaming, I'll just play with my setup so that when I stream again on Wednesday night, people will be able to enjoy the fruits of the labor of my my stream modifications and alterations and improvements. I do feel like that's something kind of lacking in the community from what I've seen, YouTuber-wise. It doesn't really seem like the streams are very advanced, so to say. I mean, like if you watch some of like the, like professional streamers, given, they're playing Fortnite and whatever, their setups and their displays on their streams, it's not just like a picture down in the corner and a screen up on there. It's like there's They got stuff going on. I guess the closest would be like Dorky Diggity Dave. He has a pretty good setup for his streams going on. $200 units for what? I went through. What is your operation? For our operation, what operation? What exactly do you guys have going on? Some sort of bet? I'll figure it out. Lies. I won't figure it out. Ever, unless you tell me. Oops. I always forget not to do that. I'm doing the skill path. What's up, Roberto? I'm doing the skill path because it's skill day for the... It's skill day for, or sorry, mutant day for the MODOK class thing. So I figured I'll do mutant. I did do the Corvus for the tech path the other day when it was Cosmic Day. Yeah, all the nodes were like armor up and stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, she just counters all that. I had him and Medusa on my team for the tech path for Cosmic Day, and yeah, it was like a cakewalk. Rage. Gross. Ugh, more rage. Oh. Masochism oscillate. Uh, I'll use Omega if I want to, okay, sir? Don't tell me what to do. Oops. Well, this sucks. With my luck, Omega will be the one champ that I actually am successful at killing him with. Oh my goodness. I actually went better than I expected it to with Omega. God, why can I not get away from his S2 right now? This isn't gonna go well. Hey, I did it! Deadpool X-Force for the win! Notice how I intentionally did not parry him so that he wouldn't gain any health, because I figured I wouldn't be able to out-damage the Massa because I'm regen. Do all those things too. Blah. 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 gather up my tiny bits of gold. It's actually nice to a degree that they seem to be putting gold into more little reward pools for these things. What's up, Captain Too Good? How's it going, buddy? Thanks. Got a haircut? Driving home. Well, congratulations on being able to go home. It's always nice to go home at the end of a day. Some people don't have homes to go to. Womp womp. Do I have any other mutants that I could bring? Not really. Six-star Namor. Only text at stoplights. Talking to you, Rovetto. Troublemaker. Nightcrawler has the bonus. Well, there's a special bonus for Nightcrawler. I don't know what you mean. Are you talking about in here? Oh yeah, Nightcrawler. Wow, a whole extra 500 points. Luckily, I have this 6-star. Haven't even paid attention to the MODOK class events. I only do when I'm about to run these, because I don't run them every day, for one thing. I've just been kind of running them on streams when I have a chance, or when I have a free minute to do things. Oh boy. The damage is so amazing. Probably should have tried to switch, huh? Ooh, that was nice. What's up, Torbs, man? Yeah, I'm trying to stream at least 3 times a week, and then possibly on weekends. The plan is I'm gonna try to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Now, that being said, this Friday I'm going up north with my family, so I won't be streaming this Friday, but I will be streaming again on Wednesday night, usually about 9 p.m. once I put the kids to bed. What's up there, J. Paul? I don't sound like Kermit. Don't listen to him. Nobody listen to him. I don't sound like Kermit. Maybe if I plugged my nose.
Then I could probably sound more like Kermit.
No. If anything, I sound more like... Oh, thanks. If anything, I feel like I sound more like Ray Romano. Yeah, I took the very first opportunity. I literally called like the minute that they opened up today. Because Michigan finally let hair salons reopen. So this morning at like, I think it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock. They had been open for a little bit. I called. I said, what's your earliest appointment? Because I need a haircut pretty bad. Wow. Harsh. Yeah, all the likes. Give me likes. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Share the video with your friends. All that stuff. If you think I'm handsome, you know. Wow, Buddha J. Paul, that's rough. Now you're never going to be able to unhear that little bit of Kermit. My wife says that it always sounds like I'm like straining to talk. But it really isn't. I don't have, like, it's not painful. It's just, I don't know. It's just the way I sound. Is it? Okay, so here's a question. Is it Esmir or is it Esmer? Like Esmer or Esmir? Could be Esmire. I find it interesting that on these paths they have like the reverse champion. You know, normally it would be like the science one because you're facing a skill champ, so you'd have like reduced base attack unless you're science by 50%. Is it Esmer? I don't really know. I know that's how Hobbit pronounces it when I've seen his streams. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's right either. I'm gonna learn how to say everybody's name. So if I say your name wrong, then let me know. so I can say it right on stream. So I don't want to mispronounce people's names. It's like one thing that I hate. Maybe it's comes from the fact of my last name is commonly mispronounced by people. So I have a thing about pronouncing people's names right. Yeah, I forget. Yours is pronounced J. Paul. Jason. I can pronounce that part, that your actual name correctly. Fortunately, considering we have the same name, so you would hope that I'd be able to pronounce our name correctly. You pronounce your name Watermelon? I mean, if your name's Watermelon, then that would be, you know, obviously how you would pronounce it. You thought my real name was Aromatic Coffee? Yeah, my parents were super big hippies and they were into coffee. J. Paul. You don't need to say your name. Your name is Thanos. It's a lot of aggression. He's very aggressive, this fellow here. A funny feeling I'm not going to be able to beat him with. Oh, was doing so well. There's a good question that I don't know the answer to. Is there a Y in your name, Mr. J. Paul? Or is it just the standard Jason? Oops. Yeah, last night of war season. Yeah, standard Jason here as well. Yeah, it is nice. It is just about time for war season to be over, because fortunately my BFF Tommy, he put me on backup this war. But, oops. Where's my potions here? There. I've got four level 4s. So, like, theoretically, I probably could have done a full path with 4. But yeah, I had a bit of a rough week. The map 6.5 week for me with Can't Stop, Won't Stop on map 7, and then double Nick Fury and all that, just... Who said that they were buffing war rewards? I mean, they rotate anyways. And what, the last thing they buffed was AQ rewards, so logically the next thing that they'll buff will be AW rewards, right? I guess it depends on how much they buff it. You know. AQ was brutal this week, honestly. Like, I had a really bad week. I think I had 12 revives when I started this week. I'm down to 3 now. But that's also between war and... You know what? I'll be actually... After this stream ends, which I'll probably be streaming for, I don't know, 10, 15 more minutes. I'm going to post a war video of our last war, and I died on against a Red Skull on the hidden path, and I didn't realize until afterward when I was rewatching the video that I was using CMM, and when my binary ignition triggered, she didn't get any of her furies. And I was like, wait a minute. I got the indestructible buff, but I didn't get any fury buffs. And there was no, like, buffet or anything on the node that would have prevented it. And as far as I know, there's nothing in Red Skull's kit that prevents buffs from proccing. I mean, unless I'm missing something. But I don't know if it's a glitch or maybe maybe there's something I'm overlooking. But you'll see it in there, in that video. AQ, you know, AQ's not too bad. I think it's just monotonous at a certain point. Map 7 makes it more interesting, I'll say that, certainly. Beardo transformed into Michael. Amanda and I were talking about it briefly earlier, but I'm a little disappointed in at least the last thing that they said about Alliance War, which was more that we're going to add even more buffs as opposed to like removing them or just trying a different type of strategy altogether. I think just the general logic that they've had up till this point where it's you shouldn't be able to 100%. Like, that's just not a realistic way of thinking. Everyone's going to expect 100%. You know, especially when you get up into the master tiers and stuff. For us, maybe not, but what node on the second? It was yeah, it was the second node of tier 2. Why? Is there something there that I'm missing on that node? Yeah, they had mentioned that they were going to add additional tactics originally. Now, that was prior to them getting all of the feedback from the community about and all the negativity and all the streamers pretty much bandwagoning onto boycotts and all that stuff. So we'll see if that changes when they do put out the roadmap, the infamous roadmap at this point. I'm not, you know, obviously we'll have to see. I think that maybe there's some different ways Grandmaster will randomize it. Yeah, that's what I was saying. There was nothing on the node, and as far as I know, there's nothing in Red Skull's kit that would prevent Furies from proccing or for any, there's no ability accuracy reductions or anything like that that I could see. And he wasn't even a dupe. I don't even think he was duped, so... That was nice. Let's see what we got here. We got more tactics. Ugh. Agreed. I bet they'll take their approach of GM will randomize at each war without your input. I also hope they don't randomize. What I would prefer is eliminate, and I said this before, so if you're in the stream again, or if you're watching it from home, sorry for repeating myself, but I would prefer kind of like you have with AQ, where you have a selection of nodes. They give you like a list of 7, and then you can like attach that to nodes wherever you want to customize your defense. So you'd have the same, 7 optional nodes, or however you want to do it that way, and then you'd be able to just put those on as an additional node throughout the map, and you can gear a strategy towards how you want to build your defense around where you place those nodes. It would be a pain in the butt for officers to deal with, because then you'd have to actually pay attention more to where people are placing their special defensive strategic nodes. But I don't know, seems better than having ridiculous nodes like flow applied to every single fight that you do. I would prefer having, it would allow for customization, but not overly painful. And then maybe make it so obviously these have to be in path, and you can only apply 1 to a node, but no additional nodes to the mini bosses or bosses or anything like that. It would just be path nodes. That's my perception of what it would be like. Must be spite. I didn't even pay attention to what the nodes were. What was it? Yeah, spite oscillate. Okay. just saw you put a big message in, and oh my gosh, well, that was good. Coffee, maybe we should do a stream where you and I break down our Map 7 tracking sheet, and maybe it's something we could share with the community since we were looking. Yeah, I actually, you must have, I don't think that you caught that part of one of my streams. I discussed that exact thing with Amanda, I think maybe on my third stream, I don't remember. Anyways, yes. I was waiting for the roadmap so that I could decide what I want to do tactically with the channel, because I want to try to do some like how-to style videos that can, be helpful to people as opposed to just entertainment. Streams are like more of an entertainment type role, and then I want to have like informational type videos. So one of those things was, yes, I wanted to potentially create like a Map 7 planning video, maybe do like one video for each variation, discussing kind of like good options for paths and how we go about planning the way that we plan it. But because of all the uncertainty around changes being made with whatever they put out with the roadmap, I don't know if I want to do anything like that until I see what's in the roadmap, because I don't want to waste a bunch of time doing videos about Map 7 planning and then having them be like, oh, we're going to totally change Map 7. Be like, oh, okay, cool. So I just did all those videos, all that work for nothing. Do I have any rank 3s? I don't, and here I'll show you why. I have where is it? I have this tier 5 skill catalyst from Clearing Abyss, right? Tier 5 skill catalyst, and then those are my 6-star skill champs. So, I mean, I think that we can all agree that none of those champions is worth being rank 3. Someday, if I get a good skill champion, I will have a rank 3. And then, I'll be in business. All I need to do is pull, like, I don't even know. Reality is that there's not many unduped 6-stars that are worthy. If I could get Spider-Man Stealthy, that would be sweet. I would definitely rank 3 him unduped. I probably would rank 3 Nick Fury unduped, even though he kind of needs it. Maybe if I were to pull a 6-star Killmonger, or maybe if I pulled a 6-star Elsa. I don't think she really needs the dupe. I don't really know that she's worth a rank 3 either, though. Yeah, I kind of got like the worst, currently the worst possible 6-star T5 CC. No one's gonna rank 3 Ronin. No one in their right mind would ever rank 3 Ronin. Unless you're like pushing prestige in a top 10 ally and you get a T5CC skill and you just need to take somebody up and you happen to have a duped Ronin or something. That'd be the only circumstance that I would see. It is a very bad batch of 6-stars. That's just my 6-star skills, though. I mean, I have other good 6-stars. I just got a bad circumstance for the tier 5 catalyst that I pulled. I also I haven't used my 6-star awakening gem. I got a tech gem. And I have, those are my 6-star techs. I could probably use it in Mysterio, but I don't know. I don't use Mysterio enough to legitimize putting a 6-star tech gem into him. Reality is that probably the only people that I would put it in if I were to pull a 6-star tech would probably be like Warlock, Gilly 2099, or Ghost. Outside of that, I don't really see anyone that I would want to put a 6-star. This is weird. I haven't noticed that before. There's a second Hulk Buster. Yeah. Would I rank 3 an Unawakened Aegon? No, I wouldn't. Just because he can't carry over his combo then, so. There's a rank 3 Green Goblin out there. It wouldn't help our prestige, though. If I rank 3 my Ronin, that's not going to help our prestige. His prestige at rank 3 is not going to be higher than my 565 champs. How did I just die so fast? Oh, oscillate. That's probably why. Let's see if we can... Ugh. Oh my goodness. Is like it is rage and... Alright, there we go. Ooh, that'll do it. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't rank 3 an Unawakened Aegon. I would definitely rank 3 an Awakened Aegon. The only thing is that in order to get that, you basically already have to have an Aegon, right? Well, I guess if you did 6x6 100%. Suppose if you did X6 100%, you'd be able to rank 3 and 6-star Aegon to go for Abyss runs. But like if you've already done Abyss 100% and that's how you got the ability to rank 3 a 6-star Aegon, then like what do you... I mean, you don't have anything really to use him for anymore at that point if you've already done Abyss 100%. He's good for X6, but he's not that good for X6. Of course, I'm sure there's people that would disagree with me. Just my opinion. How many more of these things do I got? Good night, Ro. I think they should have rank rewards for all these things. They should just have rank rewards on all of the events. Why not? You know? So, I've basically just done an initial clear, and then I've been doing like itemless runs through chapter 1 to clear that when I have free time or energy. And I've been saving up my... Actually, let's look at the MODOK store. What do I got? Only 226 coins. Hello, Amanda. Welcome back. Thought you had left us forever. I need to let you come bother on a call sometime? You mean like call into the stream? I assume that's what you mean. I assume you mean like provide commentary or chat with me while I stream. Because I have no problem with that. Right. Yeah. Hello, Kukui. Kukui. All my favorite MCOC ladies have joined the channel now. You'll join the chat and demean and belittle me. That's fine. I mean, it's not any different than normal. I don't get hurt. One of the things I always tell people when I'm mean to them is that if I didn't like you, I wouldn't be mean to you. Because I'm not mean to people that I don't like. Which is odd. You would think that you would be mean to people that you don't like. But if I'm comfortable being mean to you, jokingly albeit, then that means that I like you. So I will take that as a compliment, J. Paul. Touché, sir. Oh, yeah. So, earlier today, I went on to, I went on to Urban Dictionary, and I submitted an entry, because I think that we all by now know that my brother, Blizz, enjoys derailing conversations. Like, he'll be in the middle of discussing something and he'll kind of like just like take it for a right turn and just totally, you know, ruin the whole flow of the conversation. So I submitted, we call it getting blizzed. So I submitted a Urban Dictionary definition of getting blizzed. And unfortunately, I have to break the news to everyone here. I got an email from them a couple hours later stating that my definition of blizzed was denied. So, you know, we lost it. The community did not agree with my definition, so it shall not be. I could still add a command into Discord through like CollectorBot that if we ask it for a particular thing, if we ask it for like the getting blizzed, that it would pop up with, you know, that definition. Apparently things get voted, so you like submit your definition of something, and then other people, like random people, get to vote on whether it's good or not, and they approve or deny it. And if enough people deny it, then you just get kaput. You lose your submission. It doesn't go on the record. Yeah, exactly. You just got blizzed. He does. He takes great enjoyment in doing that, too. Well, probably not going to hang out too much longer, but I do want to run through briefly some 4-star, oh, not 4-star, 4-star basic arena with just my 550s, so should be able to do that pretty quickly, I think. It's funny because we were just talking about my brother was over my house yesterday with his kids and his wife, and we were discussing, they were showing me a video of the Cuomo brothers, the governor of New York, if you don't know, and one of the correspondents for CNN, one of the guys, are brothers, and the CNN one, I forget, I think his name was Chris, I don't remember now. There was a video that he was pretty much harassing his brother on air about the swab that they had to do in his nose, and they're saying that that was like me and my brother. Like, if we were in that situation, that would be me harassing my brother about them putting a swab in his nose type thing. And if you haven't seen the video, it is pretty funny. You should look it up. But yeah, so I have to take every opportunity that I possibly can to harass him. You have to keep in mind, of course, that when I was young, I'm 5 years younger than he is, he used to beat me up all the time. So he deserved what's coming to him. The only way that I found to defend myself against him, because he was like 60 pounds heavier than me for my entire life and a foot taller than me, was through my words. What do I think of Governor Whitmer? That's an excellent question. I think, in general, all politicians are pretty shady. So she definitely went pretty hard into the COVID restrictions. Were they too hard? I don't know. I don't think there's any way to really know. I know that I needed a haircut really bad. If you watch some of my streams from like a week ago, this is like fresh as of today because they just opened back up, and it was getting pretty out of control because it had been like, I feel like it had been like a year since I was able to get a haircut. Yeah, I'm from Michigan too. I don't know if that made it clear or not, or if I mentioned that at some point, but I don't want to do that yet. I was surprised that I had heard that there was some discussion of the state board looking to start impeachment proceedings against her or something. I never really looked much into it. My wife mentioned it to me. But I was just surprised because considering the circumstances of everything that's going on, it seems like probably not the best time to do something like that. But I don't know how much legitimacy there is to that either, because I haven't heard anything else about it since my wife mentioned it to me. So she could have just got, it could have been some not so accurate news. I mean, you have to think, the thing is, just in general, all these people who are trying to make these decisions, they're not trained, they're not scientists. They don't know anything about, they just have to go off of what's being advised to them from experts who they trust in terms of how the like what reactions and they should and should not take to a pandemic. I don't think that there was any sort of training class in any schooling or anything that they did about, what to do during a pandemic, because like a pandemic hasn't been a thing for so long. So everybody's kind of just flying by the seat of their pants, and is one person right, is one person wrong? I don't know. Bogus. Yeah, honestly, some of them. There was a lot of talk about California's governor and then New York's as being like the leaders of the cause and being the people to look to. And I forget the governor of Florida's name off the top of my head. It's been a while. I try not to watch too much of the news about this stuff. Honestly, I don't know what's accurate and not accurate anymore. It just seems like there's a lot of misinformation just in general, even by the large media outlets. Yeah. It's kind of like, what's the best bad decision that you can make? Kind of like, you have to chop off one of your fingers. Which finger do you chop off? Nobody wants to chop off any of their fingers, but if forced to chop off one of them, which one would you choose? Is there a good choice of which finger you should lose? I don't think so. Well, I mean, just in general, nobody knew, like, uh, what to do. Because it was, it wasn't like something that there was a lot of research about. Would you really want to lose your pinky, though? Imagine trying to, like, hold things. I feel like without a pinky it would be difficult. I feel like the ring finger would be the way to go, but, like, I could be wrong. Can't lose the middle finger for obvious reasons. And definitely not the thumb. The thumb would be the worst possible choice. It's pretty vital to being able to, grasp anything. Are they going to be doing like a hybrid system for your guys? Is where like some classes are telecommute and then other classes are in person kind of thing? Or are they just going to go like back to normal? Yeah, how would I be sophisticated without my pinky? Apes have pinkies, don't they? I'm pretty sure. I mean, technically speaking, we are just a great ape. We're really no different genetically than... Seven variations of class with hybrid. So almost as many variations as Kabam has different types of AQ maps. See, I'm fortunate that I don't really have to deal with the general public anymore. Looking back on it, I think it was a great idea to get out of retail. When I did. Because if stuff like this comes along more and more often, I definitely don't want to be exposed to the public. Because they always... The masses always make such good ideas. One of these days I'm going to learn how to evade that whole thing properly. I'm actually surprised that Champion actually threw a special attack in Arena. Yeah, I've been out of retail officially for 5 years. Well, 5 years as of February. Or no, sorry, 4 years as of February. It'll be 5 years coming up next February. But, yeah. I don't regret it at all. I had to clean up used drug needles in fitting rooms before, so who knows what the riffraff is out there doing with a pandemic going on. Well, yeah, pandemic plus social injustice, rioting, protesting. The one good thing is a lot of the, at least around here, a lot of the protests that I've seen have been mostly peaceful, and generally speaking, everyone is wearing masks for the most part, which is great because the majority of the people protesting for good reason are black, and statistically, if you look at the statistics of how COVID affects people, it seems to affect them. They have worse outcomes than the rest. Now, why that is, I'm not going to get into that because I'm not a doctor. So I'm sure that there's a plethora of reasons as why that happens, but the safer that they can stay, the better for their sake. Yeah, well, you also have the unfortunate birth defect of being a female. So, in general, being a female seems to make things more difficult for getting promotions at work, unfortunately. So, yeah, I won't go into that anymore. Try to stay away from the hot topic issues here on my channel. Yeah, I'm not sure that it's so much that either. Yeah, I'm not going to get into it any more than that. I don't want to be spouting off on my getting up in my soapbox too much, so. But yeah, I'm sure that that is a contributing factor. Sean Smith? Who's Sean Smith? How does he know Amanda? I assume that you're affiliated with the Black Order somehow. I should make a channel where I just talk. Make a channel where I just talk government. It's funny, actually. My best friend growing up ran for city council for the city that we live in as a libertarian, which I will say I'm not a libertarian. There's nothing wrong with libertarians, but it's just not my perspective. So ironically, I could invite him over and I could interview him, do a little Discord on different political parties and their opinions of things and whatnot. Oh, he's affiliated with TBO. You don't have to leave. I mean, just because now that we know who you are. I mean, I still don't know technically who you are, but I'm sure I know who you are, but I would need to know your IGN. Because obviously I don't know people's real names for the most part. There's a very select group of people in TBO that I know their actual names. Oh, come on. No, you don't want to come to me for news. Pretty soon you have Trump going, oh, that's fake news. Fake news. My wife will start listening to the channel. She'll be like, stop talking about politics on your channel. You don't know what you're talking about. Say, honey, I gotta entertain the people. You know? I gotta be out there for them. They need me to talk politics to them. Oh, Thanos, you're Sean Smith? I'll be honest with you, I don't look very hard at the profile pics. They're very small, and they're very far away. That's not true. You can trust me. I'm a nice person. I would never do anything to endanger or cause harm to anyone intentionally. I'll say that much. You seem relatively trustworthy. I would agree with that. Mainly Amanda. Oh, so I have an idea to run past some of you guys. Since I have some of my most trusted folk in the group here. I've been debating on currently. I'll start with currently in terms of a tier list of how strong champions are. You've got pretty much Seaton's list, right? And he's very knowledgeable at the game, and he has a pretty good feel for how good the champs are, so it works pretty well for that. But I was debating on creating my own tier list, but what I wanted to do was kind of gear it towards statistical, like database analysis of how strong the champs are, what they can do utility-wise, and put that out there. Now, the thing that I'm struggling with is, in order to accomplish judging their damage, I don't know what the best way to determine that is initially I was thinking, oh, I'll just get a read for how much damage they do per hit, like each different type of attack, and how much a crit does for a light and a crit does for a medium and a regular hit does for a light and a medium and a heavy, etc. And then, take an average of the amount of damage they do on a hit. But the problem with that is a lot of champs have buffs and things like that, so you can't get a consistent read on, like one medium crit this time if they don't have a buff active, and then it's all RNG. So if they don't have a buff active this time, then the damage is going to vary a lot. So there's a lot of room for error for that. The second theory that I have is if I do fights against, my plan is do fights against Winter Soldier, obviously, the contest punching bag, and do a set rotation with every single champ against him, right? And then take the amount of damage done. So it'd be like medium, light, 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 medium, until I get to an S1. Launch an S1. Medium, light, 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 medium, all the way until I get to an S2. Launch an S2. And make sure in between there that I mix in at least one heavy attack. And then get the quantity, how much damage they did. And then extrapolate based off of their attack how much damage they did, but against how much attack power they have and how many hits it took in order to accomplish that much damage. And then I should be able to get a rating of... Yeah, but like, how do you do DPS? Time the fight? I mean, I guess that would be the same thing. And see, that's... So, to your point, Thanos, I did... I will say I have done some testing on this already. That's the beauty of taking the amount of damage done, and then essentially you take the amount of damage done, you divide it by their attack rating. So, mutants theoretically would get an advantage, but if I divide it by their attack rating, because the attack rating is getting a boost and the damage is getting a boost, so you're dividing it by it anyways, it's still breaking it down. Right? Maybe I'm overthinking it. Do the same thing I just talked about and time the fight and look at the total damage done. So do that set thing. Yeah, DPS per attack point is kind of what I was thinking. How much damage they do per second or whatever. That's probably a good idea. How much damage they do per second divided by how much their attack rating is. And then, I will say, like I said, I have tested it a little bit so far, and what I was seeing kind of corresponded to a degree to the current tiering list, because I took in some different champs. I brought in a skill champ, I brought in a mutant, I brought in a science champ, and I did the test. And then when I ran it through, the damage per attack point, essentially, damage per hit per attack rating, was not that different from champ to champ. See, that's the beauty of the level, and that's why the attack rating is so important, Amanda, to me, for the number, is because if I use a 6-star for the test, obviously they're going to do more damage, but they also have a higher attack rating. So once you divide it down, and I'll give you a link to like some of the data that I have already. But like once you divide it down, because you're dividing it by a higher number, it's coming out to be very close to the same across all star levels. And that's why I think that dividing it by attack rating is so important. Because then that way you don't actually have to have a particular star rating. The only consistent things that you need are the person that you're fighting has to be the same for every test. And then you have to have the same mastery setup. Those would be the two like key things here. Those have to be static, because if you change those, then it throws off all the numbers. Again, so the masteries, so no synergies initially, at least. Right, so the change in power rate, and that's the other thing, and that's why I was dividing it by, I was counting up how many hits they did. So like, if it took 44 hits to accomplish this much damage, it was how much damage did they do per hit, and then divide that by what the attack rating is, and then you get, whatever, it's the damage per hit damage per attack rating or whatever. And that was what I was getting. And it was funny because I did it with Captain Marvel. And I did it with a 2-star, a 3-star, a 4-star, 2-star, 3-star, 5, and a 6-star. And when I broke down when I divided it all out, they were all within like 0.15. It was like 1.9. They ranged from like 2.15 to like 1.85, basically. So like the amount of damage that they did was very comparable across all the star levels. But yes, the change in the power rate based off of their rank made it less hits, but yeah, it was less hits to accomplish the same thing, if that makes sense. So it's just a theory I was having. I thought maybe it'd be good to run it past people who know. Now, obviously, and this was all things in life, there's always exceptions to rules. So you shouldn't judge a system by an exception. And by that I mean there are exceptions like Quake, for example. Quake's damage output here in doing a system like this is going to reflect probably poorly on her, because that's not what she's intended. That's not how she's intended to be played realistically. And then AA would be another good example, but they're like the outliers. The majority of champions are meant to do just basic combos. They don't have unique playstyles like that require, in order for them to accomplish their goal, a specific set of attacks. So I also have I have a list. I have 3 tiers of champs that I have, in my opinion, that are out there. So you've got, well, not types of champs. I have 3 tiers of every champion to determine how good they are, right? The first pillar is damage. So damage being, how much damage they do. The second pillar is utility. So that would be like different types of immunities, power control, power gain, true strike, inherent abilities that allow them to do things that other champs naturally wouldn't be able to do. Essentially, is a utility. And then the third thing is intangibles. And what I define as an intangible is unique play styles that, when done, change the dynamic of a champion. What is another intangible? Ramp up would be an intangible because it's not a normal thing that a champion does, but it's not technically a utility. At least not in my opinion, it's not technically a utility. So I have these. So the champions, what I want to do is like get all the damage numbers, put all the champs in a list, and then rank them from 1 to 100 and whatever. And then the same thing with utility. So you would check off all the things that apply to that champ, and then rank all of them from 1 to 100 and whatever. Based off of that, there'd be a lot of ties there because, you know, a lot of champs do the same or lack the same things. And then the same thing for intangibles, and rank them, and then take a composite of those 3 rankings to determine what are the tiers of these champs. What I'll do is, a lot of my data right now is on paper, just because I wanted to. It was hard to like play and then like record it on the PC. It was easier to just write stuff down. So what I will do is I will input all of my data that I have into a spreadsheet in the next few days. Maybe while I'm even up north, I might do that because I won't be able to access. I won't be able to. Yeah, I'll talk to you about that later, J. Paul. I won't be able to really get on typically, so I might have some free time on my hand to enter data into spreadsheets. Of course, I also might be having to work. Always put me to work up there. But yeah, so Thanos, one thing is, as much as I would appreciate people's help, like I was saying, I think that's very important when doing the testing, that it has to be a static mastery setup. Otherwise, the numbers, you know, you have to have, for any experiment that you want to do, you have to have a control. And I think that this has to have 2 controls, those being the mastery setup and the champion whom you are doing the damage against. Of course, if there was another person who did all the same things, like the same thing with a different mastery setup, against the same champ and recorded their information, I could throw it up against the numbers that I have as like a 2-prong type thing. So if I start getting more into it, I'll see if anybody wants to help try to gather some data for me. One thing that many people probably don't know about me is essentially my job. Essentially my job all day long is I work with spreadsheets, I analyze data, that type of stuff. So I have done many a spreadsheet in my time at Thanos. I have a cottage kind of thing. It's up in Gaylord, Michigan, back in the deep woods. We've got trails out there that you can drive. They've got off-roading golf carts and, you know, ATVs and all types of fun stuff to play with, all types of nice little outdoor toys. Oh man, it's already 12 o'clock. I got all off on a tangent about my ranking system. Yeah, the one thing that, as much as, and obviously I respect Seaton a lot in the community for everything that he's done since he started streaming. But in reality, the current tier list that we have, although pretty accurate, I would say, it's all based off, it's opinion based. It would be nice to have something more data driven as a ranking system. I would also be curious to see, after running those numbers, how much it lines up with the current system, the current ranking system that we have all been using for so long. Okay, Kukui. Have a good night. I'll be done pretty soon here as well. Just gonna run a few more champs through this arena, and then this should be fun. Gonna get degened. See if we can kill him before the degen kills me. That's not gonna help. The only thing that I would have to say, thinking about it for DPS, is that it could vary very significantly just based off of the ability to be aggressive. There's times where Winter Soldier doesn't want to throw specials and things like that, so I would worry that, there's the circumstances are different from fight to fight, potentially, for how long it takes for him to throw a special or Yeah, I contemplated Red Hulk as well, or even Star-Lord in LOL. I did contemplate both of those as potential targets for doing the test. But the difference was the energy. So because in order to do the test, I have to I don't want to do it with any synergies active, so I want to go basically in with one champion, do the fight, back out, going with another champion, do the fight, back out. right now what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to find the error, you know. So that's why I'm doing multiple stars of a particular champ to determine how much potential error there is between from one star to another star. And then once I find an average there, then I can account for that, kind of. Because obviously with all tests, there's some sort of error involved. But yeah, I felt like I need to at least get the S1 and the S2 in there for the rotation of damage, because there's a lot of champs that rely on their specials to do damage. Special tests will have to be done for probably Quake and AA, and then I can compare, maybe take the average of what their playstyle, what their normal playstyle would be versus what their, what the regular rotation that I use for everyone else was. I don't know. Theoretically, you could do more damage with Quake never hitting them once than another champ doing, 46 hits. Same thing with AA. It would take some hits, obviously, still for AA to do it, but less than a normal champ, another champ. Ghost would be another one. I would really like Night Thrasher as a 6-star. I feel like, as far as I know, though, he needs to be duped. I don't even have his 5-star. Ah, poop. Alright. Yeah, I'm about to head out too, so. Probably after this round of fights, I don't think it's worth too much more. Have a good night, Amanda. Alright, for anybody still watching out there, if you're still out there, it's been a pleasure having you with me tonight. but the coffee cup has run dry. And that means it's time for bed. Make sure to like and share my videos. Subscribe. That always helps me out.